up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Let's talk about it. It's April Dawn. What up, everybody? It's April Dawn. What up, everybody? It's April Dawn. Let's talk about it. What up, everybody? It's April Dawn. Let's talk about it. This is the Good Lord Bird, episode 4. All right, this episode was cute. It was a little bit more serious, than the episodes in the past. We got a little bit more exposition, like we know what's actually going to happen at this point. So I thought it was funny, like jokes are always landing, like 24 hours. No matter how serious it is, jokes are landing, honey, at all times. It was hilarious. Don't want to waste no time. Let's get into it. The title of this episode was called Smells Like Bear, and we'll find out in a minute. Onion is having a dream. Okay, and in this dream, he dreams of a funeral, and we hear Chase, a voiceover of Chase. Y'all remember Chase from the last episode? I think his name was Chase. Yeah, it was Chase. And he says he dreamt of his funeral, and it was 2 coffins, and one of the coffins had his heart in it, separated from his body, and then another one had his body and his lungs and stuff in it, and the lungs was still trying to breathe. The preacher is saying a prayer. Then I see a preacher saying a prayer. He says, "Who are you and what are you?" And then we see a woman, and we'll find out later who that woman is. And Onion wakes up, and he is like, "Are we there yet?" And John Brown is like, "Listen, when the train coming up right here, we finna jump off this mug, okay? So get ready." And we like, what the hell? Yes, I do have on pajamas, okay? Mind your business. I'm at my house making gumbo. It's real cold outside, and I'm feeling real cozy. I wanna decorate my Christmas tree, but I digress. Brown and Onion have jumped off the train, and they walking or riding a horse or whatever they doing, child. And he says, he wants people to think that they out west, but they really are in Pennsylvania, because he's like, where the hell we at? He was like, we in Pennsylvania, we in the Allegheny Mountains. And so he says that Frederick Douglass showed him a few tricks, like how to talk and how to be an orator, so they can raise some money. So they're going to raise some money. They're going to go back and get the guys. He says, listen, I might have to have you testify, when I'm doing my little speeches or whatever. You got to talk about like how slavery is so horrible, how you got beat and how you got raped and stuff. And he was like, well, I ain't never get beat or nothing, because, and like Dutch, he took care of me or whatever. He was like, well, I need you to just like mention that. He was like, I never been hungry till I was with y'all. Like I never been starving till I was with y'all. I think that later on this plays them, like I thought about this later on, with the scene. We'll see later on in the episode, because although he might have had a comfortable life, it's not just about you, right? It's about other people as well. And so like she said, your brother, your sister, your family been ripped away from you. Your daddy got shot right in front of you. So no matter how comfortable your life was, it was never that comfortable. You know what I'm saying? But in a way, you got to think about it like this too. John Brown is using Onion, right? He's smart because he knows how to market what he's trying to sell, right? Which is revolution and freedom for our people. But he is using this man's brown skin to get him some money, right? So he's using him to get money. He's telling him like about the federal agents. So he's like, I just want to tell you that, it's some federal agents out here that's, looking for me or whatever. And then we see the moniker Smelling Like Bear. So now we see that he's doing speeches or whatever. He's all on the East Coast doing all these speeches. And Onion is going on about, man, you would have thought that all the free staters was church going, good people that never did nothing wrong. And all the slavers was horrible, terrible people. I mean, which they were. I mean, your own people. I'm just going to be like, I don't care how nice you was, you still own people. You know what I'm saying? He says that something very interesting, that for the way that he spoke, that kind of made him sad that white people cry for black people so much. But when he turned around, it was only one other black person there. And it seems like that black people can't speak for themselves. It has to be a white person who has to speak for them, because he and the other person know that they better keep quiet. I thought that was an interesting point too. So John Brown tells him that federal agents are out on the look for him, right? And so, if he see a federal agent, then, he needs to let him know. And he says, well, how do I know what they look like? He said, well, they be smelling like a bear, because they use bear oil to like do their hair or something like that. He says, but they clean, they be pale and they be yellow faced, girl, because they, they be inside all the time up north. You know what I'm saying? So you gonna know. He gives them Frederick's old gun. He said, this Frederick old gun, he would like for you to have it. Fred, his son, not Frederick Douglass. He says, if you see one of them, don't holler, don't make a scene, just hold up your feather, right? The Good Lord Bird feather, right? Says if they get real close to you, know what I'm saying, just point and shoot. He was like, you want me to draw down on a federal agent? Are you insane? And he was like, no, I don't mean shoot him. I mean, shoot up in the air, shoot straight up in the air. I mean, then they're going to run, and if it's going to be a confusion, and then we can get out, and do what we need to do. So he's talking. As he's talking, a deacon comes up to him, and he's like, are you John Brown? Like, he almost shot him. And he was like, my name is whoever, and this is my wife. Can you come speak at the church at a meeting? He was like, oh, I would love to go speak at a meeting. He goes to go speak at this meeting, and baby, he had his guns, and this whole scene was amazing. Like, the range of emotion that Ethan Hawke goes through as an actor is really cool to watch. Like, how he gets upset, he's hollering, he's pounding so hard, the guns are like falling off the table. The poor deacon about to have a damn heart attack, baby. Onion notices, like, a Fed. He thinks it's a Fed. He see a man with slick back hair. He's pale, you know, and all of this. And so while John Brown is praying, talking about them damn cookies, sugar cookies or something he was talking about, his head is down. So Onion is waving the feather. He's waving the feather, but John Brown, his head is down. So only at the very last minute does he picks his head up and he realizes, oh, this is Hugh Ford. Like, Onion had the gun. He was about to shoot him. I was like, baby, don't shoot nobody. Okay, you better not shoot this man. Like, oh, it's Hugh Ford. You know, that's the homie or whatever. Like, I'm so honored to meet you. And he's like, oh, I'm honored to meet you or whatever. So you got my letter. So he's there. They talking, you know, mission. They talking battle, what they're gonna do. And he says, he starts to pay him. He gives them a lot of money. And so Onion is like, hey, don't you feel like that's a little excessive? You know, like, we should stop. And he's like, no, I have some more. So he gives him some more money. I'm like, John Brown is reckless in this way. Like, are you kidding me? So they plan on having dinner that night, and they're gonna talk about schemes and what they're gonna do. He turned around and asked Onion, hey, was you gonna pull the trigger? I mean, you was pretty good with the gun. And Onion was like, I'm about to. Onion could tell that he was a shady, because I was looking like he's shady. It's something about him. Why y'all can't talk about it now? I ain't like that. And Onion knew it too. And I was like, we here. We not here, but we here. You understand what I'm trying to say? John Brown is excited. He's perfect. He's going to be great. He's going to train the men. It's going to be off the chain, right? So later on at the Keeney house where they was going to meet, the lady is like, listen, y'all going to have to get a room, and you can't just be sitting up in the lobby. You know, obviously they've been there a long time waiting on this man. So he's like, I'm waiting on one of your patrons, Hugh Ford. So she started to look through the bitch. She like, baby,
hold on. Okay.
Okay, hold on. Let me, hold on.
Baby, he checked out this afternoon.
So basically, he has ran away with all y'all money. I said, my God, that is horrible, honey. He asked Onion, what was the final count? He said $1,700. He was like, I gave it all to him, huh? You gave it all to him. You did, John. Why you did that? You shouldn't have did that, baby. And so Onion is like, it's okay. I mean, you gonna get it back or whatever. You can get it back. And so, because he like shooting the air and knocking shit over. You know how John is. He off the chain. So he's like, you can make it back. People will give you, you know, their little pocket money or whatever. And he says, you know what? Boom. Pocket money. You right. I don't need pocket money. You just done gave me a gift from God. And Onion be like, I don't know what you're talking about. I just be talking. I don't know what you're talking about. It was funny. He said he needs men. He don't need no money. He needs followers. He don't need no friends. Yes, he's a fool. He starts to feel like and apologize and feel sorry for himself because he got swindled by this man. And he says God has punished him because of spiritual pride. And he was like, you hear that? And so he takes his hand, says, Onion, your job is to help illuminate. It was a really nice line that he said. I was like, wow, this is really beautiful. I ain't gonna lie. Onion said amen. It was a beautiful line. He said, let's go to Canada. This is a real nice place. You know, it's open, it's free and everything. You know, let's go to Canada. So they go off to Canada, child, walking. And so about, I guess, into the trip, he like, are we there yet? And he was like, you know, it's a couple more days. You know what I'm saying? Walking, it's a couple more days. He was like, so we gonna walk to Canada? And he was like, yeah, we about to walk to Canada. Yeah. John is pontificating on about how every Negro should have the right to decide their own life and, you know, going on and on and on. And Onion is like, God damn it, I'm tired of this. I'm a Negro. I'm ready to be free. And he was like, you are free. What do you mean?
Well, if I'm free, why I gotta do whatever you say? Why am I getting dragged all around the country and do whatever you tell me to do and I ain't got no choice to get away?
So John is just taken back by realizing, oh my God, I have been enslaving you low-key and I didn't give you no choice on whether you wanted to be with me or not. Okay, I just took you. Like, this is hitting him like a ton of bricks. Like, he don't even know what to say. He like, but I thought we was family, right? I'm confused. Next morning they arrive in Canada and Onion is just like looking around. He is just like, you know, looking at all the free people. I think that was Harriet he was looking at that we saw later on in the episode. But I think that was. But he was looking at a woman and a husband and her family kind of just like, wow, you know, people just free. They could just have a house and shit like it live. And there ain't nobody trying to beat them and get them to pick no cotton or no rice or nothing like that. Wow, it's amazing. John Brown buys him something to eat and then he sits on the curb and he apologized to him. I know you probably missing your daddy right now and that's my fault because it was his fault.
I left you without a choice. And I thrust freedom on you without asking you, basically, if that's what you wanted. And that don't make me no better than Dutch. And he says, I want to explain to you so bad, like, why I set you free, why I did what I did. But instead of doing that, I don't have the time. So I just try to treat you like the best I can. I try to treat you like you're my family. And he says there comes a time in a parent's life where they have to let their children go. And I'm sorry. You know, he was like, we're in Canada now. You're free.
There's a mission right there. If you want to go to the mission, they will look at you and you can get they will look after you and you can get a fresh start. So it's kind of like you got to let them go so they can come back to you. You know, let them free so they can come back or whatever the case may be. So he really says, I really enjoyed your company. And he says, if freedom comes to the United States, maybe you can come visit me in Lake Placid. And because I know the boys are going to miss you. And he was like, please forgive me. And so Onion is like, listen, you ain't got to ask for forgiveness. I mean, the world is a confusing place and you just trying to figure stuff out too. You know what I mean? You ain't got to do all of that. He said, you know, God has already forgiven us. Like, we're already forgiven. So he gives him his grandmother's Bible and John collects his things and he leaves, honey. And Onion is just wandering through the town. And John Brown is going to give his speech down to the church. And he goes to the mission. And the woman is like, okay, well, do you want to come to the thing, you know, to the speech? And he was like, nah, I ain't trying to come to the speech or whatever. And she gives him an apple. And she goes on down to the speech. John begins to speak. And we see that Onion has decided to show up. So he talks about his life, and I thought this was really interesting part. The speech was like 6 minutes. This is one of the longest speeches or the longest scenes of this whole show. I thought that Ethan Hawke was brilliantly, like, he was everything. He really feel as if he deserves an award for this show. And I hope that, my hope is that more people watch this show. So y'all tell people about it because it's a really good show. And it's kind of one of those things that's going to be like a blip and it's going to be gone. But this show should get some accolades because it is funny as hell. It's good. Ethan Hawke is amazing. Okay, he's amazing in this show. So he talks about how he lived his life nonviolent for a lot of years. He got married. You know, his father raised him to be a good man. And then when his boys grew up, they left to go to Kansas. And he says that he taught them, just like his daddy taught him, how to love thy neighbor, how to treat people the way you want to be treated, right? The golden rule. And so he said the pro-slavers of Kansas seems like they didn't like anybody who was even talked to black people, was friendly with black people. So they picked on them. And they burnt down their farms. They destroyed their homes. And he said this is what woke him up. He says, we cannot wait for ignorance, for hatred. Oh, God, it was so good, y'all. It was like ignorance, hatred, stupidity to hurt our little ones. We are part of one family. We are part of the human family. And it's so interesting to me that that speech could be given to this day. That shows you how trash oh my God, don't even get me started, okay? Trash. He said it's decided it's time. He was going to shed his blood with and for the African-American brothers and sisters. So he said he knows there's a price on his head. But is it a crime for him to say that people have inalienable rights, the right to live, basically, the right to live and pursue happiness? Everybody has that right. So he says people who worship slavery, he said we're worshiping despotism. That's what he said, despotism. Now stand up.
Black and white people need to unite. They need to come together to end slavery. They come together to put an end to the horrors of slavery.
So he says, now I know violence ain't what we want. We don't want to run up in they shit. That's not what we want to do. He know America, and America is full of hypocrites. So he says, especially people in the North, the coward, he says slavery has made a coward of the white man. Boy, I tell you, he laid it out, honey. He said the rich is getting richer and they fat, so fat they can't remember the values that this country was built on. Baby, when I tell you he read America down to the white meat, honey, he read America down. So how you affect America is you speak the language that they speak, and that's the language of violence. So basically what he said, it was what we always talking about in America. People get upset about rioting and all that kind of stuff. But how was the American Revolution started with the Boston Tea Party, right? What was that? A riot. What did they do? Destroy property. The only time you can get stuff popping is when somebody start losing money. Let's just keep it 100. Ain't no laws gonna change. Ain't nothing gonna pop until people start losing money, losing property, and things start happening another way, okay? He doesn't need any money. He's not asking anyone for money, but he does need men. It's time for them to
smite the slaver.
And it's ironic that a man who uses so many words all the time says no more words. Okay, I'm done, bitch. I'm not saying nothing else. Who ready to sign up?
Everybody was looking like, you gonna sign up?
You gonna sign up? You thought I was gonna? So one dude was like, hey, I'll sign up. You know what I'm saying? But like, what's the plan?
I cannot tell you what the plan is publicly. I cannot make that announcement publicly. Okay? But what you need to know is that we're gonna purge sin. Okay? With blood.
Man's like, hey, I ain't got no problem going with it, but my life is precious. I escaped slavery. I made it through all this way. And I ain't got no problem dying, but I at least want to know what I'm dying for. Okay, so can you just give us a little bit? Just give us a little bit. The other guy's like, listen, we know who you are, but we don't know you. It's like, why should we trust you? He's like, well, I move with God. You know what I'm saying? So, but I can't tell you what I'm going to do. It must remain a secret. So please join me. And they like, nah, fam, ain't nobody finna join you. And then one woman is like, hold up. Everybody say, rise, all rise for the general. I said, who is this? Who is this? Who is this? And it is none other but Harriet Tubman. She just left her cousin Canna on Lovecraft Country, and she decided to come on and swing by over here, okay, and get some justice popping over here in this decade, in this part of the multiverse, okay? And stand up and it's like, hold up. Wait.
JB ain't gotta explain nothing to y'all because I know that Jesus is his homeboy and whatever he got planned is gonna work, baby.
Okay, it's gonna be for the good. So y'all need to roll with him.
And look at y'all. Y'all up here clucking like hens. Your ass is scary. You done got safe. You done got free. Now you don't want to give nothing up. And your brother and your sister and your cousin ain't in them up still in chains. Your children done got ripped away from you and look at you. Scary ass people.
Help yourself. On one end, I go with both points. And this is where the whole thing with Onion comes back. Onion said he lived a comfortable life. I mean, he did not work hard. He didn't get beat hard. He got fed good. He lived a comfortable life. But just because you live in a comfortable life doesn't mean that everybody else is living a comfortable life, or that's enough reason for you to not do anything, okay? So come on and drop them gems in for the 2020, all right? Okay? Just because it don't affect you don't mean it's not affecting other people. And he know it is. Like, it ain't like it's it's absolutely affecting everybody around him, and he can see that for his own self. Onion ponders on how he like being taken care of and how, he ain't really for all this fighting stuff or whatever. But he said her being Harriet up there talking reminded him of Simone. Was it Simone, I think? Or Simone? Yeah, I think it was Simone, the slave from last week who did her beautiful speech. And so he was like, I heard this familiar squeaking like, sign me up. I was like, that was cute. I mean, I wonder how old Onion is. He can't be no more than what y'all think? 14, 15, 16, something like that? Who knows? You see two brothers, Atticus and Louis Dangerfield. Atticus and Lewis, okay, they walk up and they sign up. I feel like all these people are important in the abolitionist movement, or important part of the Harper's Ferry, the raid, because they said their whole name. Like, everybody said their whole name. So we see another guy named Dangerfield. He draws maps. So they're like, okay, cool, we're gonna need you to draw a map. Then we see another guy named O.P. Anderson. He said he's a free man from Pennsylvania. He's ready to go on it. Oh, and we see another guy. He comes up and he's like, listen, he warned, he says they're going to be on any whiskey on the mission. And he was like, no, we need men that, no, it's not going to be no whiskey. And he was like, okay, well, is it going to be some women of the night? It's like going to be some women. And he was like, no, we need men like with high morals, high morals. And he was like, oh, okay, well, it really warmed my heart hearing you talk about everything that you was talking about. That really made my spirit feel good. And he says, well, I think I might could be a hero in your little, this adventure you got going on. My name is Cook. I was like, child, Cook is a mess. Cook seem like he just drift wherever the wind blow. So we see later on that Harriet and John have had some time to talk and discuss what the plan is, right? So she tells him this is a good plan, but you need to keep to the date. So she sees Onion and she goes over to Onion and is like, who are you? What are you? Because you can tell that she can tell that that's a boy, okay? And so he says, I don't really know yet. And she says, slavery makes a fool out of people, right? I've seen everything, you know, get you twisted all up, get you all messed up or whatever. And so then she gives him her shawl. She says, this is more than a shawl. It holds secrets. And you about to go back into the lion's den. You done volunteered to go back into the lion's den. So, you know, keep this, and it's going to help you be brave. Keep being brave. So we see that John Brown thanks her as he's getting ready to leave. And she says, listen, keep to the date. You cannot keep changing the date. Okay? You need to risk your life before you risk messing up this date. I will get everybody I can together to meet with you so we can make it happen. We get the plan. So now we see what's going to happen. This is the raid on Harper's Ferry. So we see the Cook is over there talking about it's only two different kind of people who can count and people who can't count. I don't really know what that's supposed to mean, but okay. So we see we're talking about he's giving the strategy. What they're gonna do is only 2 guards that guard this whole place. They got enough weapons to arm like 5,000 men. They're gonna cut the telegraphs. They're gonna raid it. They're gonna storm it. They're gonna escape into the Blue Ridge Mountains, right? And then he says people will fear, like the slavers that's out there. They're gonna fear them or whatever because they're so far away. And he says we're going to move through the hills, you know, defeating the slavers. Basically, once the people hear, because it's 30,000 slaves, it's 1,200 slaves in that place alone, but it's 30,000 in the surrounding area. And once they hear that they're, you know, there's guns for them, they're going to take up arms and they're going to come with them or whatever. His sons talk about, like, a lot of people going to die, and is this right? And he was like, it ain't about right or wrong. This is about breathing life back into this raggedy ass country, basically, is what he's saying. So he says they're no longer freeing slaves, because the son is like, well, you said our mission was to free the slaves. Do what he said. We no longer freeing slaves right now. Right now, what we're going to do is we're going to be hiding them to fight. We see that he has told Onion this already when they was on the train. So Onion is saying, well, why do you want me to go with Cook? Because he wants Cook and her to go into the town. He wants Cookie and Onion to go into the town and like set up a little residence and kind of like, you know, be in the town to keep their eyes and ears, because Cook is a good talker. He can mingle in with the everyday people or whatever. And so they might need to hide locals, but you know, they won't have to be out there in combat. And so in real life, John's whole family minus 2 of his sons, like Jason and another son, did not participate. 2 of his sons died, and like his whole family participated. His wife, his daughters, baby, everybody participated. They was hiding people. They was cooking, bitch. They was doing all kind of stuff. So I saw something in an article I read, and they said he did so much planning and he kept moving the date. This is why, you know, it didn't work out. And the guy's like, why don't we just stay in Canada? You know, we know the land. We can move around. We got friends out here. Robert is worried about everything because he's like, this is crazy. If this shit don't work out and he get killed, they're going to be hunting down every black person they see. So Rob moves a lot in fear, which I understand, but you know, a revolution can't be built on fear, baby. You got to man up now, okay? You can't be bitch made. It is what it is at this point. John Brown's like, bitch, we about to go to war. It's about to be a civil war, baby. My baby Owen was like, I'm down. I was like, okay, Daddy. I like Owen, okay? All right. Everybody is down for the whole trip. He looks at Onion and he was like, this is not an order. Do you want to do it? Onion is like, I'm with you. And that's how the episode goes off, y'all. So it's about to get popping. Like I said, he kept changing that date. And that's what happened. He got wounded and they tried him. We all know what's going to happen. I mean, you know, I hope I'm not spoiling it for you. I can't wait to see how it plays out. But yeah, you got to know history and what happens. And he get hung at the end. We saw that at the beginning, right? So I thought this was a good episode. It was funny. It was action-packed, just like normal. Tell your friends about the show. I've been telling everybody I know to watch the show. I know I got some of y'all watching it. You hadn't heard about it. So yeah, tell your friends. I don't care about no views. I don't care about that. I just want the show to get out and people to watch it because it's a good show. And if you don't know anything about history, it's good. And I love to see shows that like show the nuances of people as characters, because I feel like history paints people with black or white pictures. Like, people get so upset when you paint Martin Luther King or when you say anything disparaging about Martin Luther King, but all these people are human beings, right? So nobody is 100% perfect. And yes, John Brown had a noble mission, but he did some crazy shit. Like, he ran up in people's stuff and burnt everybody's shit down, killed people, cut off heads. Like, he was out here wild. That boy was a wild boy. You know what I'm saying? So he was out here living, baby. Martin Luther King was doing his thizzle as well. So you know what I'm saying? Like, I like to see these portrayals of people in history as nuanced characters. Even though Frederick Douglass was giving an uppity Negro tea, thank you in the comments, I did see that was hilarious. He was giving uppity Negro to the fullest. I still am glad that I got to see, you know, so I can feel like these were actual people that I know. I feel like people in Louisiana was like, girl, you heard about this Negro Frederick Douglass? Girl, I heard X, Y, and Z, baby. Okay, you know what I mean? That's what we was doing down in New Orleans. So, like, I love this show. I think it's good. I think everybody should watch it. And I think you should tell all your friends about it. So, I want to hear your thoughts about it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll holler at you guys next week. Peace.